Hello, I'm Christine Franklyn, and I'm a health coach who helps people have more energy and feel vibrant every day.
And my name is Silvana Siskov. I'm a health coach and nutritionist, and I wrote numbers of books focusing on health, weight loss, and well-being. And today we are going to talk about 5 ways how you can improve your energy level. And at this time of the year is really time of the year when people are feeling a bit tired. It's cold outside, and days are short, and lots of people are complaining about feeling lethargic, the lack of energy, and yeah. So we can talk about just to kind of mention 5 ways how people can improve their energy levels. So, what would you say would be your number one, Christine?
For
Number
me,
one way.
yes, for me, the number one way that I always start with any client is looking at their lifestyle in terms of stress and in terms of sleep. So,
Mm-hmm.
what, if anything, I'm sure there's always something, what is stressing you? Is your schedule really hectic or frantic? And what is the quality of your sleep? Not just the quantity, but the quality. Because if we're not feeling rested, then there's pretty much no way that we can get the true energy that we could really have to really maximize it. And, there's so much more that we can do when we have more energy, of course. So it just makes life more fun. It makes life more fulfilling because we're not feeling like we're behind on everything because we have the energy to do what we need to get done. And so the first step for me in working with a client is looking at what we need to clear out. We tend to accumulate some clutter in our lives with things that we worry about, fears that we have, things that keep us up at night. So, what are the areas that are troubling us the most? And what are some practical steps that we can take to take care of those areas? Every day is not going to be perfect, but we can put strategies in place to deal with things as they arise so that we're not totally stressed out and we feel like we're losing hope, we're despairing, we can't stop our brains from thinking about this thing that we're worrying about because that is so detrimental to our health. So, even going past looking at tapping into your energy, in terms of your health, I think it's just so important to start there because even if we're eating well, but we're stressed out and we're not sleeping well, then we are not going to feel good. We're not going to be able to do everything that we normally would be able to do, and we're not going to live to our full potential. So that's really, really important for me. What about you, Silvana?
Yeah, stress and sleep. Yeah, those are big ones, and that's already two ways.
Yes.
Yeah, stress and sleep are big ones. Yeah, and we talked about stress a few weeks ago, didn't we?
Yes.
And the problem is that we live like we are on a treadmill all the time. We
Yes,
just go around, and if we are under lots of stress, then that can prevent us from having a good night's sleep.
for
So that
sure.
kind of, yeah, goes hand in hand. And yeah, it's really important to understand how stressful we are so we can do something about it. But yeah, the stress and sleep, yeah, they're quite big one. And if you can recognize your stress levels, and if you can do something about having a better quality sleep, that can definitely help with energy levels. So that's number one. Okay, so number two, I would say um, reduce alcohol and other supplements, other
Mm,
stimulants, sorry. They, because people tend to go for alcohol, for coffee, for sugar, for things like that when they feel like they lack energy. Um, they believe that sugar is going to give them energy. They believe that coffee is going to give them energy, alcohol is going to give them energy, but actually that's taking their energy away from them.
yeah.
What do you think?
Yes, that's absolutely true. So when we think about caffeine, which is a big one, which
Mm.
people get in their coffee and their tea and energy drinks and colas, we think caffeine gives us energy. Let's drink some caffeine and, you know, be able to do more and not feel tired. Although really I'm feeling tired, that kind of thing. So really we're just
Mm.
masking the fatigue and
Yeah,
we're getting temporary energy. It's great for the short term, but then often there's a crash after that. So
yeah,
you're back to the same low energy or even worse sometimes. Sometimes your energy is even lower than before you had the caffeine or the sugar or any other kind of stimulant or alcohol because they've taken so much out of your body to process because those things are really tough on your body to process. It takes a lot of energy, the same energy you want, to process them in
yeah,
the body.
yeah. And the sugar, I mean, we know sugar is a killer,
Yeah.
it spikes your blood sugar levels, and then you have a sudden drop of the blood sugar, and then you just feel lethargic, and
Yeah.
so instead of actually gaining energy, you are losing energy.
Yes.
Energy that you didn't have in the first place anyway.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
very self-defeating.
So I would say yes. I mean, I would say reduce stimulants, reduce alcohol, sugar, coffee, sweets, chocolates, anything like that. Yeah, if you can reduce it as much as you can.
Yes.
So number three, what would that be?
Well, another point that I always raise is how much exercise are you getting? And
Mm-hmm.
not just how much exercise, assuming that you need to have more exercise, but considering what is right for you, because you can have too much exercise as well as too little exercise. And both of those will zap your energy. So it's about finding the right balance for you. And again, it's paying attention to your body. So when you finish exercising, do you feel energized or do you feel weaker than before you started? I mean, you might feel a little winded because the exercise might make you feel winded, but I don't mean that feeling. I mean, literally, do you feel weaker or do you feel stronger? That's a good test of how that exercise is serving you, that particular type of exercise or that type of exercise routine, because it might not be the one off, but if you're trying to run 10 miles every day, in total, by the end of the week, how do you feel? Has that been serving you? Or on the flip
Mm.
side, if you're hardly exercising at all, then how are your energy levels in that particular week when you didn't exercise much? And usually they'll be lower because exercise, if you're doing it right, will energize you, will get your blood pumping, your oxygen flowing through your body better. So you'll definitely have better energy resources. So for me, that's really key to know the right balance of exercise for you, the individual.
What I noticed when it comes to exercise and energy, I used to, years ago, I used to run a lot. I was a runner and I ran a marathon and quite a few half marathons. And I was running quite a lot, like sometimes 5, 6 times a week. And I remember some days, first sort of 5, 10, or even 15 minutes when I started running, I used to feel very tired.
Mm.
And then I would get so much energy after first 15 minutes that
Yes.
I could easily run for another hour. That was I always used to find that interesting.
Yes. You got
So
your
yeah,
second win.
yes,
Yes.
exactly. So yeah, I used to start running feeling very tired, and I was feeling extremely tired first 10, 15 minutes. Then after that, I could easily run for another hour, hour and a half, no problem at all.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that just to prove the point that
Yeah.
exercise actually gives you energy instead of makes you tired.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what's
So
another point that you would
another
suggest?
one would be definitely diet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely the food you eat. Yeah, if you want to have more energy, then I suggest people to eat whole grains and healthy fats, some of those type of foods. Yeah, diet can really make you feel totally tired or give you more energy. That's definitely something I would suggest. And I know with myself, when I eat badly, when I eat junk food, I just don't feel myself. I just
Yeah.
don't feel I don't have energy. And sometimes some people they don't have a breakfast and they notice that they start lacking energy after a while. I mean,
Mhm.
some people are okay with not having breakfast, but some people they must have a breakfast.
Yeah.
So yeah, the food we eat is definitely it's something that we need to pay attention to when it comes to energy levels. And
Yeah.
lots of my clients often notice when they start seeing me, and when they start changing their eating habits and the food they eat, they often notice that their energy level increases.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. It's funny you
Yeah.
mentioned that because I had a client who initially came to me about weight loss, but then when he changed the way he was eating, he did lose weight, but he was just so fascinated with how different he felt and how much better he
Yeah.
felt that he didn't even think about the weight so much anymore. He was just so happy to feel better.
It happens all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It happens all the time because the thing is that I work with a lots of clients who want to lose weight, and that's the reason they come to see me. But after a while, when they see how good they feel, they
Mhm.
forget about the weight loss.
Yes. So
Yeah, that kind of
interesting.
becomes secondary thing. It's not
Yes.
important anymore. Yeah, because they start feeling so good about themselves. They and they have a mental clarity,
Yes.
and also, because the thing is that I work with different areas of people's life. I really apply holistic approach to weight loss. So
Hmm.
yeah, we don't just focus on food. We focus on so many other things that yeah, people really transform not only their body but transform their whole life.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, it's interesting. People, that client saw you because of the weight loss, but then he was so impressed with the energy level that he forgot about the weight loss.
Yes. Amazing to see it happen.
I know. So,
Yes.
what would you say? Number 5,
I would
fifth way
say,
to improve energy.
yes, I would say hydration. So it's
Yes.
really important to think about your water intake to avoid being dehydrated, which definitely will deplete you of energy. And one tip that I always recommend is to have a water bottle handy so that throughout the day you can sip your water and
You mean like
it's
me?
visible.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
always with me.
exactly. That is absolutely so it's visible, it's right in front of you. You can't forget it, and you sip slowly throughout the day. That's the best way. And when you're dehydrated, your body just can't function the way it's supposed to. They say 60% of our body is made up of water. We need water for our organs to function, for our cells to function properly. So to flush out toxins, that's really important because if you have lots of
Mhm.
toxins in your body, you will definitely lose energy. So water is absolutely key. So make sure you're drinking enough of it during the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, all these things we mentioned, they're very easy to implement, and there is really no reason why someone who is struggling with energy levels, there is really no reason why they wouldn't implement some of these things, because they're just so easy. As you
Yeah.
said, having a bottle of water with you all the time. Um, Reducing stimulants, focusing on better eating habits, going to bed a little bit earlier, doing some exercise during the day. I mean, those are all things that can very easily be implemented in everyday's life.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully these tips have been helpful and everyone watching and listening will take them on board and implement them, even if step by step. I mean, you might not be able to get everything in one day, in one go, and start doing things that you weren't doing before, but step by step, try implementing each one of them, and you'll see a big difference for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of things when I work with clients, we go through these steps,
Yeah.
and obviously we kind of make a plan how they can actually start implementing them, and sometimes, yeah, it takes a few months and
Hmm.
more for them to really kind of start, implementing every single of these steps. But
Yeah.
it's good for people to be aware of these things, the kind of what they can do to help themselves.
Yes, I totally agree. So, what are we going to talk
Yeah.
about next week?
Next week, it's going to be interesting topic, and we are going to talk about what is the best diet for weight loss.
That is going to be a good one. Sure,
It's
people will be
going to be
joining us for that
interesting.
and looking out for it. I'm
It's going to
sure.
be interesting one, yes. So yeah, that's what we're gonna talk about next time. So I'll see you next week.
See you then.
Bye.